everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 12 and 13, Stop the Hate Master. So this is an Aisha focus episode. It was really hard to find an Aisha focus episode because in Power Rangers history, she's only there for 2 seasons, and I think she only had 2 focus episodes. I didn't want to do the one from season 2 about the whole fire thing, only because she was being a little butt-headed in that. And I wanted to show her more in a positive light, since this is Black History Month and stuff like that. So, Aisha, she took over for Trini. She was the very first black female Power Ranger in Power Rangers history, and she was the very first black Yellow Ranger. And she was like the first live action female superhero that's black that I ever saw. And God, I hope I got this right. And she's probably either the 5th or 6th black superhero that I ever saw, like in general. This episode takes me back for a lot of reasons. One, in the 90s, a lot of girls had like the giant rope type braids, and that is what she had. She did away with the micro braids, and in the second season, she didn't have no braids, probably just one time, but then she just had her natural hair. And so like, yeah, she had the giant rope braids going on. They were looking really cute on her, but you can play jump rope on them, no joke. They were that huge and everything. Now, one thing about the actress, Karen Ashley, I never knew, is I never knew she was half Hispanic. I knew she was black, obviously, but I never knew she was half, like, Mexican and stuff. Because I just couldn't tell, because when you look at her, she, like, her skin complexion is similar to mine, and I'm fully black and stuff. And so, like, in this episode, basically what happens is that her and Kimberly sign up for this, like, elite female club at I guess at their school, and it's called like the Angel Grove Club. That don't make no sense. They shouldn't have like a female name in there or something like that. But they took Kimberly and they rejected Aisha. When I first heard this, I thought, okay, maybe it's like a predominant, because they showed some of the girls that got in. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's like a predominantly white thing, and they excluded Aisha because she's black. But then I'm like, oh, hold up, there's an Asian girl in there, and there's 2 other black girls in there. So what's going on exactly? Why did they reject her? And she don't understand. And so so she's bummed out by this. And when Kimberly goes to talk to the head girl that's in that club, she tells her that Aisha just isn't rich enough. And Kimberly's all like, my family's not rich either, but she's all like, yeah, but your dad has like a better job. And so Aisha got rejected all because of her financial situation, which is totally messed up. This happens a lot in society, no matter what race you are, but especially in black society, is that black people are looked at as being like extremely poor because a lot of black families are like lower class. It's somewhat rare to see like a middle or higher class like black family, but even those that are lower class, they're not like dirt poor and everything. You know, they just don't have as much money as like say some other people. And a lot of black families like struggle, and it's quite a shame because like so many businesses that are predominantly white and have like white bosses, they don't want to hire so many like people of color, and then when they do, they don't pay them as much, but they make them work 10 times as harder than that of the white, and that's totally messed up. And so like in a lot of organizations, sometimes they do look at your race and they're like, oh well, we don't want you in our club because you're not this and that. And you know, stuff like that has to change, and it has changed because you see a lot more like black people in businesses and stuff. But of course now, you know, women don't get paid that much, so society has still a lot to learn. And so she's really like, hurt by this. I remember one time I applied for like a job and I went there like for like an interview and all this other stuff, and like I was qualified but I did not get the job. And so when I looked around at the place, I noticed, ain't nothing but white people working here. And not only they're white, they're older white people and stuff. You know how them older generations are. So society really does need to change for the better. But anyways, so so she's bummed out by this, and Kimberly has decided she don't want to be a part of that, which that was good. She stood up for her friend. And so in this episode, Laura, Zed, and Rita, they have created a hate master. And basically what it is that he's created from all the dust of like past like monsters. And so since they all got like blown up and stuff like that, the dust particles, ash particles, stuff. So anyway, in order to make somebody hateful, Lord Zed needs something of like a person that they touched. And so the hate master can put in his hands, do his little dust thing, and throw it on them and put his spell on them. So he gets the great idea of having the Tangas like fight the Rangers, and while they're like in the park and stuff. So that way like their foots can hit the sand, and the Tangas can take that. No, it was Squat and Babu and the Tangas. Yeah, so Squat and Babu, they take like the sand, and then they give it to the hate master and stuff. Now I gotta say, this is season 3 when they did the whole ninja thing. Boy, I love those ninja outfits. I love those things so much. I love them better than the regular costumes. I love them so much, boy. I cannot wait to get my lightning figure collection when they do the ninja stuff. I've been waiting ever since last year. I got a couple more months to wait. And I hope to God they send out Tommy first, because like they normally do. Now one thing I don't understand about the whole Lightning Collection Ninja thing, they did all the Rangers except for Aisha, I think. I don't know why they excluded her. I mean, they've came out with her toy line at least twice before from season 2 and season 3. And they always come out with Tommy stuff, so I don't understand. And so, like, and I love when they fight in their ninja outfits, because the fight choreography is so much cooler and everything. It's more exciting for the American footage. But it does suck that we don't get to see them fighting in individual, like, street clothes and stuff. So anyways, he gets the particles, he switches it around, and he turns them evil. And it's funny when they're evil, because like they think being mean is just shouting at one another. But no matter how mean Kimberly tries to sound, she still sounds like a sweet little thing. Amy Jo. She just sounds like the sweetest little thing, but saying mean stuff. And so like what is it? So Aisha's still bummed out. She's at home with her grandmother who's visiting. Her grandmother tells her, hold your head up high. Do not think about what them girls think of you. And you're still a better person just because you don't have as much as them. And that is the honest to God truth. That's the sucky thing about like how rich people try to make people who have less than them feel bad. And so like her grandmother gives her this heart necklace. One thing I've noticed about Aisha's home, it's decked out in African stuff, African colors, a statue. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is sometimes what predominantly white TV shows do. If they have a person of color, they try to deck it out in that of their heritage. But when you go to most like homes, you don't see that stuff. Like you'll see maybe like a little, but you don't see as much as you do in this episode. I remember in the Desperate Housewives, Eva Longoria and the dude who plays Carlos, they were extremely offended in the pilot episode because they added Hispanic music every time those two characters were on screen. And so, like, yeah, like people, we know what race we are. And when people see us, they know what race we are too. So you don't have to do it with imagery of like stuff in the background or music, like you know what I'm saying. And so, like, now that the Rangers are under, like, the hate spell and everything, Zordon, like, contacts Aisha. So she tries to like talk to the Rangers and stuff, and it works for the most part. Like the spell is broken. And here comes the hate dude. So they have to get in their Zord. So they morph and get in their Zord. I love Ninja Zords. I love the Ninja Zords. I love them. They are some of the best Zords ever. And so like, but when they're there, he re-puts the spell on them. So now they're all like, screw this, we're going our own way. So like, what's weird, every time they're like pissed at each other and mad, they still hang out with each other and still hang out in the same vicinity. Like when they go to like the juice bar and everything, they're just like still sitting next to each other. But if they hate each other, why are they sitting next to each other? Now, Bulk and Skull are in this episode, and they're trying to solve out who's been doing graffiti on like the wall in the youth center. I can tell you right now, they never find out. So they just doing their goofy shenanigans off screen, and they're really the B plot that don't matter. And so you know, at some point in time, Aisha's in the command center talking to Zordon, and they're trying to figure out why Aisha is the only one who wasn't affected by the spell. And so, like, because when he hit them with the Megazord and stuff, they were all affected. Except for actually the Megazord, they don't never transform into the Megazord in this entire episode. It's like a rare thing that happened. So anyway, they don't understand why. So Alpha's scanning her, and so by the time they figure it out, they realize it's the necklace that was given to her by her grandma. The love that was given as a gift, you know, it was so strong that it blocked out the hate. But before Zordon can do anything else, all of a sudden he disappears. We haven't saw this happen since Tommy was evil. And then the command center shuts down. They have no idea who did it, but then it shows that Billy did it for some device he made. Billy is too smart, dude. I like when he's evil. He's very cavalier. That dude could be a super villain if he wanted to. And so Alpha deduces that it was Billy that did it. And so they don't know how they're going to get Aisha out of there to stop things, because they need her to shut off the little machine that he created that shut down the command center. And so he's all like, you know, I can't teleport you out here. But his thing don't make no sense. We know there's a door to the command center and they can just walk on out. So why didn't they just do that? And so like the hate master dude, he starts making more people hateful, but he makes Bulk and Skull hateful. But this don't make no sense. There's an error in this. He makes them evil just by swishing his hands around and zapping them, but he didn't take nothing that they touched. So I don't understand that. But when those two get mad at each other, they just act like Italian mobsters. Hey, you looking at me? Hey, who you looking at? Like that. Like it's stereotypical like thing like that. And so like Aisha, even though she is not like as smart as Billy, she is clever. When Alpha starts talking about circuitry and stuff like that, she looks at Alpha and realizes that, hold up, there is still power in the command center through him. All he has to do is hook himself up to the transporter, and then she can transport on out of there. And so they do that, but then he can't take her to the juice bar, or the youth center, I meant to say, because like he doesn't have enough power. He can take her to the park. This don't make no sense. They clearly state she is in the park, but when we see her, she's near like a beach lake type area. And then the Tangas come down because they want to get like her footprints from the sand. So she does her Ninja Ranger thing, and you know, it's so funny. I remember when I used to watch it, I'm like, why does she look like a man when she turns into her Ninja Ranger thing? And then I'm like, maybe it is a male stunt double on there. But when they have a female one, boy, they would not get a female stunt double to near like the Disney era and stuff. And even then, they still get male stunt doubles for like the female Rangers and stuff. And so like, they get like the dirt that she stepped on and like all this other stuff. And but she gave Alpha her necklace because he has to make some kind of antidote. But this is what's so great about Aisha. Alpha literally tells her, that she needs her necklace in order to block the hate spell, but she tells him he's gonna need it to make an antidote. And she knew the risk and the dangers, but she, as a good hero does, she jumps right into action and like doesn't like care about herself as long as she can save other people. That's a hero for you, man. You gotta give it up, because you gotta remember when Alpha and the pilot searched for like the teenagers that were like chosen to be Rangers, her and her two friends weren't like selected. But she proved in season 2 that she is worthy of being a Power Ranger and somebody who wants to protect the planet. And you gotta give it up for her for that, man. And so like, and that's the kind of like, determination that so many young people need, and even older people. And she's a great role model for young people and young black girls and stuff. And, so like, till this day, you should see her fandom, man. Like the actress who plays, well, all the Rangers have a huge fandom, but you should see hers, man. And so like, he's trying to put like the spell on her, but it don't work because she's thinking about her grandmother, and that's enough for him to be like, I got a headache. So he like gets on out of there. Anyways, you can probably guess what happens next. She goes to the youth center. She talks to the Rangers with the words of love, because Adam and Tommy are gonna fight each other. But she's all like, "That's not what martial arts is for." It snaps all of them out of the spell only like momentarily. She shuts off the power that's shutting off the command center. And then Alpha does his like techno thing, and then like he sends out a beam all around in the grove that like makes everybody normal, but it's only affected the Rangers and Bulk and Skull. So of course they morph and they go to the Zords. And like I said before, they don't turn into the Megazord. Now I gotta say, this is some of the best individual Zord action I've seen since Mighty Morphin. Well, the first season that is. And so like, it's so cool seeing them do their individual things and attacking, especially the frog, man. That was like some cool thing. That thing is powerful. And so, like, they pretty much just call on Titanus to finish the job off. I'm just like, it's so weird seeing Titanus in this now, knowing what the Sentai is about. And it's so weird because he's supposed to be in, like, the original Mighty Morphin, the Dino stuff. But they still had him and still using him, boy. And so he defeats like the monster and everything. And then the thing about Aisha in that club, she talked to one of the members because she wasn't gonna let this like slide. So she talked to one of the other members, and they couldn't believe what that one girl did. So they kicked the other girl out the group, and they did like an investigation, because it turns out she denied other girls as well who like didn't have like the money requirements and stuff. So Aisha is gonna join, but she wants Kimberly to be with her. And she like accepts. But yeah, give it up. Like I said before, like Aisha was like a really cool character when she came in. They introduced her, Rocky, and Adam in a great way. Instead of just throwing them in the show, they introduced them early on, getting to know the Rangers, building trust and everything. So then when they did take over the power, it's like, oh, okay, well, we know and like them, so that's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, for a lot of people, she is their first hero and their first, like, black hero and stuff. Like, she's the first live action black, like, hero I ever, or female one I ever saw, Because it would be like, cause you don't see that in comics. They're there, but they're not a lot. And so, like, like it's so hard for me sometimes just to name any black superheroes because there are not that many in DC or in Marvel. Now they are in Milestone Comics because that was a predominantly black comic book company, but they got sold out or bought out by DC. So a lot of their heroes jumped over to DC, like Static, Icon, and Rocket. However, like even now they're barely being used on like animation and stuff. Like the most part, they just now been showing up on Young Justice, and of course, Static had his own show at one point in time. And the other heroes from that comic, they haven't made the leap over. So, comic books still have a long way to go. Oh wait, I forgot. Bulk and Skull does solve the case. It was Skull himself. He sleepwalks and everything. I completely forgot about that. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.